Hey everyone, and welcome to the Uncorked Corner podcast, where we cover the full spread of food and beverage industry topics. My name is Bianca, PR and marketing professional by day and food and wine connoisseur by night.
And my name is Nick, an accountant with a passion for barbecue, beer, and whiskey. Today we welcome Stevens Charles from LS Cream Liqueur.
In this episode, Stevens enlightens us on Cremas, takes us through LS Cream Liqueur's background from being a startup company to becoming an award-winning cream liqueur, and tells us about some of his favorite cocktails using LS.
If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to us. With that said, let's welcome Stevens to the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Uncorked Corner podcast. I'm Nick. We have co-host Bianca here today, and we welcome Stephen Charles from LS Cream Liqueur. So why don't you start by introducing yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, this is such a great opportunity, guys. I want to first thank you for this. My name is Stephen Charles. I am the co-founder of LS Cream Liqueur. LS Cream is cream liqueur inspired by Asian cremas, which is a traditional ancestral handmade recipe that's ended down from generation to generation. And we're basically the first one to take the taste of it and bottle it in the form of a traditional cordial, aka cream liqueur.
Awesome. So it's delicious, first of all. I've been sipping on it tonight. I opened it up. So can you start by telling us a little bit for our listeners that don't have it in their hand, maybe take us through the traditional drink and the flavor profile and really what you can expect out of this?
So when you pick up a bottle of LS Cream, what you're going to taste is going to be spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, and coconut. These are the main ingredients of the traditional recipe of cremas. It's important to note that traditional cremas is something that's made especially during the holidays. It's normally really thick, and the thing and the spices again are those spices that I just said. So vanilla, cinnamon, coconut, and nutmeg. So when you taste it, that's really what you taste. Now, the alcohol we use is neutral grain spirits. And we did that on purpose because we didn't want to have an aftertaste of the alcohol that we use. So basically, when you taste LS, you really taste the spices behind it and not the alcohol that's too strong for it or whatever. That's why you can pair it so easily with coffee, with other base spirits like rum, vodka, or even a tequila or a cognac.
Yeah, so that kind of leads me to the next question I was going to ask. So how do people typically drink this, or how do you approach it? Is it something that you mix with different cocktails to kind of make something, like you said, it's typically a holiday drink, the crema. So is it like holiday themed cocktails or anything special that people typically do, or is it a lot of times do people just drink it straight? How is it typically approached?
Yeah, so as I was saying, normally, cremas is made as a more like a dessert, like for the holidays. By transforming the recipe and putting it in the form of a traditional cream, we made it enjoyable all year long. So in the summer, you can mix it with iced coffee, make some kind of a iced cappuccino. We have a bunch of recipes on our website if people are interested. But obviously you can definitely put it in coffee. But most people are going to drink it as is on the rocks, and that's pretty much it. But there's a lot of recipes that you can do with it. We actually got a fun feature from Fawn Weaver, the CEO of Uncle Nearest, that actually used a cocktail or whiskey Uncle Nearest and mix it with LS Cream, and she called it Grandma's Milk. And basically, and the result is just awesome.
We saw that you've won a whole bunch of awards, which is really exciting. How long has the company been around? So I know you've been, getting awards for years now and all different accolades.
100%. So basically what happened is we won our first gold medal in 2014. We didn't have one bottle on the shelf. So it was like really we were at this convention and we just took our samples and we decided to participate in this competition, and we were really surprised to win the gold medal. But yes, we did win also silver medals at the San Francisco World Spirit competition also. And for us, it was just like the stamp of approval from the industry, right? That the product, the idea made sense, you know. And that's pretty much the accolades that we had. But even better, what we like is our reviews on Facebook, which are stellar right now, and also on the SAQ, which is the government-run liquor board in Canada, and also over here in some of the stores that were here. So then we know the people like it.
Yeah, and as we know, it's hard to get people to review you. So if you have some glowing reviews, that means you're doing something right. As for your background, I know you have a really interesting company story. What was it that actually led you to start the company? I know, this has been around for quite a bit, but what was like that, jumping off point that you said, okay, this is it. We really want to kind of put this product to market.
Yeah, I think it's really me and my wife Miriam we started the company together. We grew up in Montreal, and for us, uh, we were really adamant about it that one day we were going to have our own company, so we can be financially independent and also create generational wealth. Sorry about that, and basically it was something that was important to us because that's what we felt that was missing and basically in our family. We wanted to start something that was never been done on both sides of our families, and the opportunity just jumped on us. It was during the holidays. It was a long time ago, like December 2011, when the first spark, like really the idea, because we were at a family gathering with some family and friends, and we saw a traditional bottle of cremasse on the table, and we were looking at it and we were like, people are enjoying this, but they always have to wait for your grandmother or your aunt or your mom or so forth, to do it in the kitchen. We were like, wouldn't it be cool that you could go into the store and actually really like be able to buy and actually taste cremasse, like, and so forth. And we started to look into it, and we had some friends that from college that invited us to a party later that in 2012, and we decided to take a bottle of handmade cremasse that my aunt had did, and with my grandmother's recipe, and yeah, we just put it right there, and we were like waiting to see if people were gonna gravitate towards it and so forth. And yeah, we were really surprised. People loved it, and they started asking questions, and we told them our plan, and they were like, totally, like, we want like to be able to buy this taste. There was only two comments that came back, and that was really important for us because that's how we created LS, was that they said that it was too thick, and they didn't like the fact that when you drink it, there was residues because it's handmade. You could see the residues of sugar, of the coconut, and so forth. They're like, after you taste it, it's good, but when you look at your glass, you see the residues on the back. If you fix this, we're good. So we're like, okay. So we started to look into it, and that's where we came out with the recipe for LS, which is basically a version of cremasse that is not thick and that is really homogeneous in the form, and also that there's no expiration date also on the shelf. So that's really important also.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's just due to pasteurizing, right? Do you bring it up to a certain high heat so that it gets more shelf stable, like a lot of the liqueurs? Yep.
Exactly. So basically, there was a lot of stress tests to be able to make it stay the way it is at high temperatures, low temperatures, and basically, if the bottle is unopened, it can stay on the shelf for 20 years. But officially, even if you open it, there is no regulations that are saying that you need to put it in the fridge or you need to consume it. Me myself, I have the first bottle of LS Cream available at our house, and the first bottle ever produced, and it's still good. So
Nice. And about the bottle, so it's a beautiful bottle. For anyone, I'm showing it here on our screen if you're watching on YouTube. It's a nice, elegant black bottle, great shape. It has a really simple, nice LS logo on the front, and sort of basically the same color as the drink itself. So what was the design behind the bottle? And it really definitely would stand out on a shelf. So where did you come up with that idea?
So the LS is basically a mix of my initials and my grandmother's initials. It was just a way to pay homage to her. And again, I think for us, we wanted to be disruptive in the category because we felt for a long time that the competition in that in the cream liquor category was, pretty much the same. And we wanted to create a cream that was appealing to a younger demographic. So basically, somebody, I was thinking about myself, somebody that would go to the liquor store that wants to drink a cream, but doesn't have a stigmatization in terms of buying it and what it represents. So we wanted to represent everything that me and Miriam basically represent, which is a young, dynamic, young couple, young parents, that sometimes want to have a drink after a long day, going to work, taking care of the kids, and so forth. So that was all the thinking behind it. And for the logo, I just, like you said, I wanted something that would stand out. And also, we are from Montreal, so our first language is French, but we wanted something that could be said in French and in English. And LS is basically LS in French and in English. So it just felt right with the initials that fit that. And we just went with the logo like this.
And you're available in both the US and in Canada. So what is one of those newer, and where have you seen the most traffic so far with your audience? Is it still bigger in one location?
Yeah, well, I mean, we really focused on Quebec, like in Canada, like in the past years, because we actually sold our first bottles in the US, but that was really like prematurely, like it was like barely enough inventory. But when things really started to ramp up, it was because of the SAQ, the liquor board over here, that basically made it possible for us to ramp up our production, and we were able to sell almost 25,000 bottles in about 2 years.
Nice, that's awesome. And you have some really cool cocktail recipes on your website. So for anybody who's listening who is interested in trying it, one, you can get it shipped to your house to most states in the US, as well as the different areas in Canada. And you can also find some great recipes that you can make. And you guys have some killer photography on there. So
thank you.
Thanks to you for that.
Thank you so much.
What's your favorite of the cocktail recipes that you have up on the website? Or in general, even if it's not up there, your favorite cocktail to have with this?
Spicy LS Cocoa. Try it. The best. It's the best.
All right.
Definitely adding that to the list.
What goes in? Can you tell us for our listeners, they don't have the website up in front of them, what goes into that?
So basically, Spicy LS Cocoa is going to be, so basically for any recipes that you do, okay, it doesn't matter what you put in it. You always put the LS cream first because it is cream. You don't want it to curdle, okay? So that's really important. So basically, the Spicy LS Cocoa is going to be 2 ounces of LS cream. It's going to be 1 ounce of white rum, 1 ounce of mango flavored rum, and then you just sprinkle some coconut on top of it, and you finish with a dash of chili. Yes, chili. And basically that's it, and the result is just amazing. You take a red chili and you stir it with it instead of a straw or whatnot, and yeah, and it's really good.
That red chili on top definitely makes the picture. I'm like, that's what stood out to me. This is crazy putting a pepper on your cream cocktail, but I love it.
Try it. It's amazing.
Bianca knows I love things spicy, so I'll take it. Definitely. That'll be this weekend. I'll have to pick up some of that rum and definitely make this cocktail. And you also mentioned, so you could have it with a cappuccino or anything else. So typically, like you would see around here, like, Bailey's and coffee, something like that, you might see in a menu. And for people that are listening, yeah, this really is a delicious, I would almost equate the flavor to almost like an eggnog. A lot of the similar spices in that you're picking up. And it's a little bit, it's obviously, like you said, it's not as thick. It's definitely more of a thinner one, but something like that. So I could definitely see anything that you might typically make with an eggnog or something, this would be a great substitute for. And Grandma says the drink, is it always alcoholic, or is that just your spin on it?
Yeah, no, it's always alcoholic. And I mean, in the Asian culture, it's pretty much the first it's the first taste of alcohol that you taste as a kid, because you always have that uncle at a wedding is going to give you a little sip of cremas without your mom knowing, you know, and that's pretty much the story for everybody that grew up Asian.
And for you guys, so with everything, obviously, lots and lots of cocktails you can make, and I know there's a lot going on for you. What are some things that you're excited about moving forward with everything that you're doing?
I mean, for us, I mean, we're really excited with the possibility of getting more traction in the U.S. That's been really one of our main focus right now. Like especially like starting last year and going into this year, getting distribution. Right now, we're available in Florida, California, New York, New Jersey, soon Connecticut, and soon Massachusetts. And you know, for us, it's really fun to see how much people are enjoying the product and the interest that the distributors have put into it, and it motivates us to go forward.
And are there, and I don't know how much info you have on this, but is there any particular state or region that's really catching on the most in the U.S.?
Yeah, well, basically in New York and Florida, like the response has been amazing. Especially, I want to give a big shout out to the Brooklyn store and Brooklyn Appy Cork, which is a really a black-owned, a female-owned liquor store in the middle of Brooklyn. And you know, it's been a success basically over there. You know, the traction has been amazing, but overall the response has been great. People have been reordering, and you know, it's just a question of building your audience and getting people to know more about your product, doing things like we're doing right now. But I think for the most part, people are really catching on in New York, Brooklyn, and a little bit more in Florida also.
Yeah, and I definitely think this drink's gonna speak for itself. Once people try it, they're gonna keep coming back to it because it does taste that good. So it's really just a matter of just getting it out there and people finding it. So hopefully, a lot of people that are listening to this go out and pick it up. I was just we had a little bit of a break in there. I was looking at your website and I got caught up looking at the LS tiramisu. There's some delicious looking, almost like desserts and different drinks on here too. So that's one that I recommend. You have the LS Marble on here, which has
Yep.
espresso, the cream liqueur, regular cream, vodka, so something like that. Almost maybe similar to like a White Russian in a way,
Yep.
but with espresso in it. That looks awesome. And then you have just the espresso coffee, powdered sugar. So there's all these different cocktails on here and so many different things you can do. So we'll definitely be experimenting. It's a perfect drink, like you said, all year round, but definitely going into the winter season when you
Yep.
want something a little bit heavier even too. And you
Yep.
can mix in with all those sort of desserty foods and really have something to kind of keep you warm. It'll be awesome.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool holiday cocktails that I'll be making with it. And for everybody who's listening and unfortunately listening to my nasally voice today, they'll be seeing all of that on social media. So we're excited to be tagging you guys in that. I'm always looking for cool stuff to use. And I, for one, love coffee, anything. So coffee cocktails are always my thing. So we'll be making some of those. And for you, out of curiosity, outside of LS Cream, what are some of your other favorite beverages? Maybe there are ones that you mix in with it, but kind of standing on their own. When you're not having this, what is it that you're consuming?
So one of the cocktails I like is always old fashioned. An old fashioned drink for me, like it's my go-to. Like I have to get it. So that's 100% old fashioned. Yeah,
I'm a whiskey guy too, so I can definitely relate to you on that one.
100%.
We have a lot of conversations about old fashions on here.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it's such a classic.
But I mean, when you drink an old fashioned, it's like it's taking you back in time. It seems, you know, like every sip. It's like when it's well done, it takes you somewhere else, you know.
And it really is so simple, but it's the perfect drink. It's a perfect cocktail to just have anytime. So you can't go wrong. Do you have a particular bourbon or anything or a particular whiskey that you like putting in it?
Not really. I'll be honest with you. I think most of the time so I don't make it myself. Most of the time when I mean prior to COVID, when so I go at the bar and I just trust the bartender to use his best whiskey with it, and most of the time they don't disappoint.
Yeah, it's hard to mess that one up too, as long as you do have a good whiskey in there. It's not going to stand in the way.
Definitely.
So what's the best way for our listeners to get their hands on LS Cream?
Okay, so the best way to get your hands on it would be to go to creamls.com. And once you go to the section that's called Buy LS, there's two sections to it. There's the online section and there's the in-store. So basically, you choose which way you want to get it. If you use the in-store, we're only available in store in, like I said, right now in Florida, New York, and New Jersey. Connecticut is this December, and California will look into getting into some stores in December also. But in the meantime, if ever you're in any other state and you would like to get your LS, or even if you, let's say you're in upstate New York, for example, and you want to get LS Cream, you go on the online portion of it and you click on your state, and you will be able to deliver to you. We deliver in about 37 states right now.
And we are very excited to see it here in Mass. At least I am. I don't know about Nick's in Maine, but when it comes home, he'll see it when you're here. So we'll be looking out for it. We'll be sharing with our local friends as well as all of our friends here on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
And for anybody who wants to follow along with your, journey and what you're doing, and any new cocktails, of course, that come out, is there somewhere they can follow you on social media as well?
Yes, of course. They can go on the LS Cream Liqueur page. So basically, if you write LS Cream, you'll be able to find it. There's for sure. And yeah, just go on there and follow us. And we have a good community. People are supporting the brand, and we look forward to having more friends on our page.
We'll be on there, and we'll definitely put all of the links in the description to the website, to the social, everything down in the description of this podcast below. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll find it there on any of the podcast streaming platforms. Again, thank you for taking the time to come on tonight. We had a blast. This is a delicious drink, and I look forward to drinking it in the future, making more cocktails. So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Be sure to follow us on social at Uncorked Corner and on the blog at uncorkedcorner.com for a taste of more food and beverage content.
And if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, rate, and review on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Thanks for listening.